A warm welcome to everyone, and thank you for taking the time out of your schedules to join us for this Locus webinar on Unified Programming Model for Multi-Architecture Platform. At Locus, we specialize in cloud-led digital transformation, offering cloud migration, DevOps, hybrid data management, purpose-built data platforms, cybersecurity, HPC ops, AI, and more. Today, we are focusing on one API unified programming model for multi architecture platform. I hope everyone is keeping safe and positive during these challenging times. Without much ado, let me just go over some of the webinar hygiene protocols. Let's keep ourselves on mute at all times for better audio clarity. You may please ping any questions you have on the chat box and we will take them up. To avoid the flow of the presenter, we will stick to taking all questions at the end of the presentation. With that, let me introduce Mr. Alok Pandey, our speaker for today. Alok is the lead consultant HPC with 2 decades and more of industry experience delivering various HPC projects. He has consulted and delivered over 200 plus nodes to purpose built petascale clusters in India and overseas. With that, over to you, Alok.
Thank you, Amrita. Hope I am audible.
Yes.
Thank you for confirmation, Asif. Very good morning. Namaste. I am Alok Pandey, lead consultant at Locus Enterprise Solutions Limited, New Delhi. Today, I'll be discussing about one API and industry changer for software development. Thanks for joining us. I'll try to make it simple and informative. As Amrita said, we cannot stay away by the distractions generated from mobile alerts and computer pop-ups. So after a few minutes, I'll take a pause and quickly recap the slides so that you can catch the flow again and stay connected with the topic. One API is a single programming model to deliver cross-architecture performance. I am going to talk about how one API is an industry changer, saving your time and money and allowing you to focus on innovation, generating new ideas, more concepts, and do more research than learning different programming languages, tools, and techniques. Thanks for using Intel Xeon platform for many years now. Intel Xeon scalable processors have delivered tremendous performance and have a huge adoption worldwide. There have been various models under bronze, silver, gold, and platinum categories, and currently available under third generation of Intel Xeon scalable processor family. Intel Xeon processors are available in your server room as well as on demand through all major cloud providers, from web hosting through big data and analytics to high compute intense workloads like high performance computing, AI, and machine learning workloads. Many of you know that over past 15 years, Intel software has demonstrated its leadership and impact on your application performance. Intel is a huge contributor to open source such as GCC, Clang, and LLVM. Intel also supports latest OpenMP parallel programming models and have superior integration with IDE such as Eclipse. About 12 million developers worldwide are using Intel softwares, including you. Here, I just want to show some examples of workload and applications developers have developed, contributed in development, or using them. Many of these applications have benefited from the software contribution Intel has made and boosting the performance of these applications. General purpose softwares are written for serial computing. However, purpose-built softwares are written to run in parallel to boost the performance and reduce execution time. Intel has developed tools and libraries for developers to use more cores, threads, and wide vectors. Many of you are already using Intel Parallel Studio. These tools have maximized application performance. You can see on the screen that these tools includes optimized libraries, frameworks, compilers, profiling tools, and toolkits that are included in Parallel Studio. Developers from ISVs, academic, and scientific organizations writing serial and parallel codes in C++, Fortran, and Python, and are using Intel software for better performance. Another group of users are performance engineering teams, benchmarking teams, and HPC admins who are analyzing and optimizing codes and open source tools. To begin with one API, I would like to start by doing a comparative discussion with Intel Parallel Studio. Today, Parallel Studio is available to boost the performance of the applications that run on Intel Xeon processors. In simplest way, next generation of Intel Parallel Studio is Intel One API. So all the toolkits, compilers, developer tools that we see in Intel Parallel Studio will be available with one API. Parallel Studio has been around to increase the performance of applications and workloads running on x86 CPU, especially on Intel Xeon, whereas one API will be available to boost the application performance not only on CPU but also on accelerators, GPUs, FPGAs, and few other available tools today. We have seen huge development in the technology. In our time, we see architectural diversity. The modern computing environment is adopting more accelerators, writing and deploying code to GPU and FPGA, which requires knowledge of different languages, libraries, and tools. In the age of heterogeneous computing, one of the biggest challenges is coding across various architectures. Each hardware platform requires a separate skill and unique software investment. There are few popular application workload types, for example, scalar, which is suitable for CPU, where every cycle one instruction operates on one word of data. Second is the vector for GPUs, where every cycle one instruction operates on many words of data. Matrix, where every cycle one instruction multiplies matrices, and in spatial architectures, data flows through a grid of processing elements. So separate tools are required for each architecture and code reuse is very limited. This makes development complex, costlier, inefficient, and time intensive. Developers need reduced programming complexity to minimize the barriers to adopt new innovative hardware technology. Intel's One API toolkit promises to change all of that. As name indicates, it is a unified, simplified programming model for different architecture. By adopting Intel One API, developers can create workloads and applications for multiple architecture on their platform of choice without the need to develop and maintain separate code bases, tools, and workflows. If I say in simple way, with one API, you will be able to program from a single code base with native high-level language performance across architectures, scalar, vector, matrix, and spatial. Intel One API comprises of two components: the Open Industry Initiative and the Intel One API Toolkit. In diagram, if you see on the right side, one API is placed above hardware, which means one API can directly communicate with CPU, GPU, FPGAs, and other accelerators. definitely through some drivers I'll discuss later. Middleware and frameworks like deep learning are placed above one API in the diagram, means they are optimized using one API. Under one API initiative, there are two parts. One is the direct programming, that is languages, and set of libraries for API-based programming to make cross-architecture development easier for developers, and lower block is the interface to provide hardware abstractions layer to vendor so that any current vendor or any proprietary vendor can provide interface to their hardware, or any future architecture also can be integrated easily. For direct programming, data parallel C++, in short we said DPC++. DPC++ is an open standard based on evolution of ISO C++ that incorporates Chronos SQL and community extensions. In the right block, there are set of domain-specific powerful libraries to accelerate compute-intense workload. I'll talk about both shortly. First, I'll start with data parallel C++, which is an open alternative to single architecture proprietary language. It allows developers like you to reuse code across multiple architecture and also perform custom tuning for accelerators. This gives developers the flexibility to break the mold of vendor-specific approaches and opens the door to leverage hardware options which were not feasible before. It delivers the productivity benefit of familiar ISO C++ and Chronos SQL and community extensions. It compiles C++, SQL, and DPC++ source codes. DPC++ generates optimized binary host code and accelerator code. API extensions are driven by open and cooperative community development. The second part of one API is API-based programming with performance libraries, advanced analysis, and debug tools. With API-based programming, powerful API libraries are custom coded for each target architecture to accelerate compute-intensive workloads. So it looks like I'm running a little fast and you might have some distractions or you may join in between. So I'll just give a quick highlight what I discussed till now. So if I say the relationship between Intel Parallel Studio, which you are using for years, and Intel One API. So Intel Parallel Studio that is used to increase workload performance on Xeon processors, while Intel's One API increases the workload performance of Xeon, future GPUs, existing GPUs, and Intel FPGAs, and other accelerators as well. If I say Intel One API is the next generation product of Intel Parallel Studio, that is not wrong. Intel One API has the same developer tools as Intel Parallel Studio, but Intel One API tools are optimized for Intel XPUs, which means CPU, GPU, and FPGAs. Second thing, who should use Intel One API, right? So software developers like you who are developing codes in C++, Fortran, and Python should use one API so that their code can run with least modification or least changes to any platform. You need not to learn multiple languages, multiple flags, multiple directives. So with single programming language and little modification, you can use your code, you can port your code to any platform. Third thing is, what problem does Intel One API aim to solve, right? So organizations can reduce operational cost by using a single code base for CPU, GPU, FPGA, and other accelerators. You need not to invest time in acquiring skills, acquiring different hardware, and then prototyping your code project and then put in production. You simply learn one language, which is CRAS architecture and can run with the little efforts to any platform. So one API provides programmers a standard-based CRAS architecture language called DPC++. One API is for modern C++ programmer. One API is based on Chronos SQL. So if there is any question, I would like to look on the chat box. Okay. So any questions so far? Should I continue? So I'll again reiterate, Intel Parallel Studio is transitioning to Intel One API. You can use all the existing toolkits with advanced version and with more optimized tools, which will run on CRAS architecture. I'll discuss in hereafter. So just like Intel Parallel Studio, it is having multiple tools and packages. Here I would take you through that Intel One API products. So in the diagram right side, if you see, this is the Intel reference implementation of One API. Basically, it is a set of toolkits for those software developers that do direct programming. So DPC++ will be the evolution of modern C++ programming, and it will target CPUs, GPUs, FPGAs, and other accelerators. Prior to this, many of the architectures have their own programming language. For example, you must be writing CUDA for NVIDIA, NVIDIA C, C++, and then you may be using AMD hardware with their tools, maybe PGI compilers and libraries. The same way, Intel has its own C++ and Fortran compilers, which has worldwide adaptability, and most of you here are using or have used Intel Parallel Studio and the tools like C++ and Fortran compilers and PI libraries there. So under Intel One API, other tools which were available with Parallel Studio like vTune Profiler and Advisor shall continue. So if you see the compatibility tools, direct programming, API-based programming, analysis and debug tools, all are there. Intel One API products are available either as individual components, such as compiler and libraries, or in the form of toolkits. Okay, so there will be a core One API-based toolkit, which you see on the top of the screen. It contains components for broadest range of developers. So general purpose requirement can be fulfilled by the base toolkit itself. But for a specific workload and domains like high performance computing, IoT, analytics, right? Media and entertainment industry. So there are various specific workloads in the form of toolkits, which are built on top of Intel One API based toolkit. All these toolkits are provided with ready-to-use containers. But you can just go and take the container and start consuming that, or you can have an installer format, which you want to do manual installation, configuration, and set up your environment. You can do that. So in the tool, you see this on the right side. If you see on that right side, so there are not many tools, right? Which having direct programming, API-based programming, analysis, and debug tools. Few of them you are very familiar, like vTune Profiler, Advisor, Intel MKL, Intel Data Analytics Library, Intel TBB, Intel Collective Communication Libraries, then Deep Neural Network. So all these you have been using for longer time now. So these toolkit has been provided, integrated. Additionally, it is having DPC++ compilers, right? So DPC, if it's a DPC++ compilers, which is based on C++ compiler, ISO, and additionally it is having SYCL, which has been developed under industry consortium, the Kronos Group. Intel is addressing the gaps in the language through extensions and making it standards. So second part is the compatibility tool. Tool which is used to migrating existing CUDA code to DPC++. Once a developer migrate code to DPC++, he or she is no longer tied to a single platform. So you can, once you have migrated from CUDA, and then you are not bound to use a particular GPU or particular GPU, you can say architecture or family. You can migrate to other GPUs as well, or you can migrate the code to CPUs. And with this DPC compatibility tool, on average 80 to 90% of CUDA code and application can be migrated. So, but the completion of and verification of this code is expected to be a manual process done by developer. So that's why it is said that this is not a translator. The translator means it should rethink the new grammar automatically. Here it is giving comments and it is converting human readable codes. So it is designed to help developers to migrate or port their CUDA code to DPC++. But developer need to review, complete, fine tune, and optimize the output of the tool before using the DPC++ compiler. So output first to be reviewed, right? Then change. So, but the efforts is only 10 to 20%. So 80 to 90% of task is automatic, and which will be taken care by DPC++ compatibility tools and the libraries. Now, this is also supporting FPGA. I said CPU, GPU, FPGA, and other accelerators. So FPGA supports for direct programming language. So DPC++ directly to be used, and there are limited library support also. So Intel DPC++ is expected to be on par with OpenCL performance on FPGA. So if you are using FPGA, you need to have understanding on OpenCL, but here DPC++ alone will help you. Developers can work on unified development environment on a single programming language, DPC++, so that you can write the code in DPC++, which will run on the CPU, GPU, and FPGAs. Then you have DPC++ library. So it is companion to our to Intel DPC++ compiler. This is API based, which is on familiar standard C++, STL, Parallel STL, Boost Start Compute, and SYCL. All of these standards maximize productivity across CPU, GPU, and FPGAs. It is provided with around 75 parallelized C++17 algorithms and utilities. The library also complements all one API DPC++ component to simplify migration to CUDA code to DPC++. Then in the base kit, we have one API deep neural network library. This library is for the developers who are creating deep neural networks. This is a highly tuned set of API primitives that speed neural network execution. And one API DNN library is open source and is available on Linux and Windows both. This library can be used on CPU or GPU and is optimized with Intel DL Boost instructions for to provide you the maximum performance on Xeon processors. So this with the one API DNN library, you can get the performance on the GPUs as well, on the CPUs as well. I'm sorry. Then VTune profiler, you have used it VTune profiler. I'm sorry. So without the data, right, you need to do some profiling, doing analysis. So you need some data. So with to reduce the guesswork and to enhance that software performance, VTune profiler profiling data and presents it with the interface that simplifies it, analysis and interpretation. It helps you to understand the behavior of the application. So a lot of benchmarking teams, HPC admins are using these tools to have better knowledge inside the code. right? How this is consuming, what components are overutilized or underutilized uh, by the code. So vTune Profiler provide application performance snapshot. You can use at the aps.sh command under vTune directory, and you can do roof analysis. You can check the you can do the storage performance snapshot, and you can do MPI communication analytics. So you understand that application performance. You can go and do a roof line analysis, storage performance. So and removing the hotspots, identifying and removing the hotspots, you can improve the performance. Uh, there is advisor. So to design and optimize high performance code for modern computer architecture, the Intel Advisor with one API, this helps you to design your code efficiently to offload to accelerators. Developers will be able to determine if the code would benefit from offload to accelerators or not with the analysis by Intel Advisor. So they can also identify opportunities to offload and project performance, how it will perform on the accelerators. And you can also estimate overheads from data transfer and kernel launch cost, and the can pinpoint accelerator performance bottleneck in the memory, cache, compute, and data transfers. So we talk about the base toolkits. Now I am going to talk about domain-specific toolkits. So, so earlier we discussed about DPC++ compiler, DPC++ compatibility tool, DPC++
Hello, Alok. Asif, can you confirm if you can hear Alok?
No. I think it is freezed. Maybe a connection. So
Okay. So
I'll just check.
yeah. We just request everyone to be a little patient. We'll just check with Alok, our presenter, as to if he's facing some issues. Apologies to everyone for the interruption. Alok will be just back in a minute.
We really apologize for the inconvenience. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, please feel free to post in the chat box and
Well,
we'll be answering
I'm
them.
sorry, I'm back. Can you hear me, Amrita?
Yes, Alok, we can hear you.
I'm sorry, I got disconnected. Asit, can you confirm on which I didn't realize that?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, please. Let's start.
So did I discuss about the HPC toolkit?
No, you are just shown the second phase.
Oh, after that I got disconnected.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just setting my screen and keep my video switched off because I'm now on mobile network. Okay, so could you see this screen earlier?
Yeah, from here you are disconnected this time.
Okay, thank you. So before this disconnection, I had discussed about base toolkit, which is having DPC++ compilers, DPC++ compatibility tools, DPC++ libraries, one API for FPGA, one API DNL library, vTune profiler, and advisor. And after this, I am taking you through the basic tool, the add-on toolkits, which are designed for a specific workload. Let me begin with one API HPC toolkit. HPC has been very near to my heart, and most of you must be using in one or other way. So if I say the Intel One API tools for HPC, that is HPC toolkit, it is having four major components. The white one in the right box, like Intel C++ compiler, Intel Fortran compiler with OpenMP, Intel MPI library, Intel inspector, Intel trace analyzer and collector, Intel cluster checker. So it is providing support to both like distributed memory and shared memory HPC clusters. So for that distributed, it is having MPI libraries, and for shared memory clusters, it is having OpenMP support. And apart from this, it is having C++ and Fortran compilers. So you already know what is great about Intel compilers. Need not to discuss more at this introductory session. So we get a lot of positive feedback from developers. Intel compilers have excellent reputation as best in industry. So Intel compilers are very mature and hardened and are being used over 15 years now. Intel compilers source. We have experienced that sometimes you also may have experienced that a two-user floating compiler license can meet the compilation requirement on an average or big HPC cluster for over 25 users. So you can see the performance and the speed boosted by the Intel compilers and the adaptability. So Intel compilers are based on LLVM and having proprietary extensions above it. So as I said earlier, Intel is a huge contributor for open source community, and with this, they are filling the gap and addressing the challenges with their experts or their engineers, around more than 15,000 engineers who are working and fine-tuning the Intel softwares. So Intel C++ and Fortran compilers with OpenMP supports will provide offload features to accelerator with latest OpenMP spec. So Intel compilers support latest instruction set like AVX512 to boost the performance. Then we have Intel One API toolkit. Intel IoT toolkit. So that is tailored for developers who are bringing power of big data to global IoT innovations like healthcare, retail, industrial, aerospace, smart homes, security, and more. So it is built on the build and analysis tools and libraries are enhanced to help with system design, development, and deployment across CPU, GPU, FPGA, and other accelerator architecture. Then we have rendering toolkit. In HPC also you see the lot of visualization requirement, and the media and entertainment industry is dependent on visualization and rich graphics. So Intel is providing support to both. Like if we talk about HPC workflow, visualization takes place in pre-processing and post-processing. There are quite a few developers and ISVs who uses Intel Rendering Toolkit. For example, ParaView, VTK, Visit, VMD, Autodesk, Pixar, DreamWorks. So like media companies and who are designing, and they are using in backend Intel rendering tools. So this is designed for them. And if you want to design your own graphics toolkit or want to use rich libraries 2D, 3D, you can use the rendering toolkits. So it is having like Embree, OpenSWR, Osprey, and image denoise. So all those things to remove the noise of the image denoise is there. So like that, there are tools which will help to create a visualization tool and rendering requirement. Then there is again DL framework developer toolkit. So earlier was deep neural network toolkit, and this is DL framework developer toolkit. This is designed for developers who are optimizing existing DL frameworks or creating a new one. So this can be used by them, and this is optimized for performance on Intel CPUs and GPUs both, and it is for single node or multi-node distributed processing with common APIs, and it allows scaling across nodes. Then domain specific, we have AI analytics toolkit. So AI analytics toolkit is used by developers, researchers, and data scientists who are familiar with Python tools. You see the direct programming on the right side, this Intel distribution for Python. This is for training deep neural networks, integrating training models into application or inferencing or executing functions for data analytics and machine learning workloads. So you see the optimization for TensorFlow, PyTorch on the right side. The best use case to deliver this high performance DL training on CPUs and integrate fast inference into AI applications with these optimized API libraries. With this, I am about to close to complete the introductory session. Here, I have explained this how Intel is supporting creating ecosystem and helping adoption and supporting. So if you see that the upper part, like developer enabling program. So for that you have developer cloud, Intel Dev Cloud. I'll discuss in coming slide. That is very interesting offering from Intel, and free for 120 days. So that will be very lucrative offer, and you can see very useful to developers, and why I'll discuss it later. Then support through training, developer guides, and community support, even Intel support sometimes. And if you say ecosystem engagement, means existing tools to be integrated and enhanced, like OpenMP, MPI, and the industry collaboration like open source communities and other vendors to provide a multi-architecture support, and having this third-party integration. Now, the best part of my presentation today, that is the Intel Dev Cloud. If you have not heard it, it is, let me tell you, this is very useful to you, and I would recommend you to register it today itself. So here, what Intel provides the access to the Intel One API and their latest hardware without any cost for 120 days initially. Okay, you need not to download anything. You need not to procure any hardware to test your code or to migrate your code. You need not to install. You need not to have any support from anyone. Like even you don't need a local support. You simply can set up and configure it immediately, and you can use all the Intel One API toolkits. You can learn data parallel C++. You can evaluate your workload. You can prototype your project. Uh, so this is that softwares and hardware available on the Dev Cloud. If you say that bottom one API based toolkit, HPC toolkit, one API analytics toolkit, and one API rendering toolkit. So with base, you will get DNN and FPGA support here. One API HPC, you will get HPC things, HPC libraries, MPI, OpenMP, Fortran, and other tools. And AI analytics, you will get that respective tools and support. And in that Dev Cloud, you will get access to say a scalable 6128 and 8256 processor with E12760 processors and Intel GPUs, Intel FPGAs, ARIA and Statix. And you will get around 200 GB of space with decent amount of RAM for your test workload and learning workload. So this is very simple. You can connect to Dev Cloud by using your Jupyter Notebook, integrating your Jupyter Notebook, installing your system, and submit the job. Or you can connect to SSH from like PuTTY or Linux terminal or Mac terminal, and you can have remote desktop. Then connect to that one to login node, and from there you can submit a PBS jobs. So they are providing Intel Dev Cloud is providing you PBS job submission support. So once your job submitted and dispatched to the queue to the nodes, you can do SSH to that particular node also. But limitations. So this is designed basically for prototyping, learning. So 200 GB is a reasonable amount of storage, and if you see that course, so around 24 cores or something you will get for that. And when you do SSH, you will get this kind of welcome message with rules and instructions to use the cloud, to Dev Cloud, and it is using Ubuntu 18.04, so that the workload of either be HPC or AI can be tested and implemented there. So with this, I would end my discussion here. So one API, if I say this is in short, if I say this is unified language and library, which will help you to migrate your code to a diverse architecture. So you and with the performance, it's not only migrating code from one to another platform. It is writing one code and which can run on any platform with little changes. So today, so let's say your code is running good on the CPU, one generation of CPU. Tomorrow you want to migrate to GPU and see the performance, then you can do that. And if you want to test the same thing on FPGA, you can do further. You need not to go and learn CUDA, then OpenCL, and write different codes. The single code will run there, and libraries are there. So since this is an open industry initiative and Intel reference product, I think you should give a try, and you should subscribe Intel Dev Cloud at earliest, and get the benefit of Intel offerings with One API toolkit and hardware. And you need not to invest anything for first 3 months. And I think 3 months, 4 months, that is very reasonable time to start or to test your product, to migrate or to develop new code or to learn the technology. Then certain benchmarks which has been tested and improved earlier, like Python, right? So if you see the performance with the normal sklearn efficiency, which is running on GPU, and you can see the compared to stock Python and Intel distribution Python, you can see the difference in the performance. Another benchmark that is Ju1 model Ju for Intel architecture, it was the performance. If you see the lower one highlighted area, the performance on NVIDIA Tesla V100 is 7844 images per second, and NVIDIA Tesla T4 is 4944 images per second. But on Intel CPU only, this is 9282 processor, the CPU only, no investment on additional accelerators. This is 7878 images per second. So that's how the performance improvement on Intel than using any other tools. So if you have any question, we can discuss now. I'm just stopping my screen.
You may unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you all. You will receive a survey on the presentation, and we would appreciate if you would provide your valuable feedback. Thank you, Alok. We will go ahead and take some time for the questions now. Just a reminder, please put, be sure to put your questions into the chat box in your control panel.
So the survey link has also been posted on the chat this thing. So if you could just take a look there. Amrita, there were a few questions. Could we start with that?
Yes, certainly, Runa. We have our first question, and that is from RK, and he has the question. Okay, we have a question from Ramakrishna. How to get one API compiler to test the existing codes?
Yeah, so Intel Dev Cloud, I think he has written before I came to the Intel Dev Cloud slide. So Intel Dev Cloud is this option you have, and that is free, right? With the hardware, with the software. So that is free for you to use. And this is for 120 days. You need not to invest anything in the hardware software, even you need not to run it on your server. You need not to connect to your IT guys, your admins. You simply go and subscribe the services and start migrating your code there.
I guess Mr. Prabhu has a question. I see a hand raised from him. Mr. Prabhu? Can you please unmute yourself and you can talk to Mr. Alok directly?
Already, I got the answer, madam. Already, I got the answer.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Understood.
Okay, and we have another question that is from Ritesh, and he's asking that his question is, okay, is there a trial or free version of one API available for education and research?
So currently this is under beta release, so I missed to comment that, but I have mentioned on each and every slide. So this is for 120 days, definitely it's free with all toolkits that I mentioned on the slide, and then with the hardware as well. So any institutes, any person who academic institute or anyone who is interested to try Intel One API, and he can get that Intel latest hardware and cloud and start testing that. So there is a registration link on the chat box shared by Mandeep. So you can simply register it with your organizational email ID and get the access.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for hearing me today and sparing your valuable time. So the only gift at this moment I have for you is the Intel Dev Cloud 120 days access, which you can start by migrating your code. Thanks again for joining us. If in further you have any question, you can write us back. You can write back to Amrita or your account managers. We'll definitely help you. And if you are interested in a deep dive or deeper sessions, definitely we can create a customized session, 2 hours, 4 hours, one day, based on your interest of topic and your availability. And then you can fly from there. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you again, Alok, for answering all those questions and for the great presentation. It looks like we have covered all of our questions today. Alok, is there anything else you wanted to cover before a wrap up?
No, that's it. So Intel Dev Cloud access link is already in the chat box, and we can also send it over email once we receive your feedback. We'll on the response to that, and we can share the video link. I believe can we share the video link of this webinar? So any
Sure.
interested person want to refer to any topic can refer to that, as well as the readable format of the presentation will also be available.
Great. With this, we come to end of this webinar. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. And thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time.